issues surrounding the electronic voting that was, of course, passed into amendment last week. Now, currently, Nigeria uses the open secret ballot system of voting wherein voters secretly cast their votes directly into a box. The ballot papers are then counted manually at each polling unit, registered and sent to the collation centers.
Now, this is considered a painstaking process. Now, the e-voting has to do with the application of electronic technology to cast and count votes in an election. The internet or the satellite will be needed to achieve this. E-voting reduces the time in both casting a vote and declaring the results compared to the old paper ballot system. Now, e-voting machine comes with features that ensure the prevention of ballot box snatching, multiple thumb printing, card reader failure, and the alteration of data. But can it solve problems of ballot buying, voter intimidation, and post-election violence? Let's bring in Abubakar Kyari of the APC. He represents, of course, is a senator representing Borno North. Now, what can... Look, let me even take it from the issue of the e-voting and what it requires. Nigeria has a low penetration of broadband, somewhere around 14% or so. So does it mean that by 2019, the election will still be largely manual? Is that what we're saying? Or do you think we'll actually be better prepared before 2019? Abubakar Kyari.
Like I said, I think the issue here is we're not targeting necessarily the 2019 elections, but if INEC has seen, if it thinks that it can achieve e-voting in 2019, so be it. But what we have done in effect is to give INEC, like I said, the powers to decide when and how they introduce the e-voting.
All right, if we decide eventually to adopt the electronic voting system, what would be the underlying operating system that would be deployed?
Well, there are so many technology that can be deployed, but one thing I want to state here is if you look at the number of reruns and by-elections that were conducted after the 2015 general elections, you will also agree with me the 2015 general elections seemed to be one of the best elections we've had in recent times. But we had so much reruns and by-elections, over 100, and that costed the government or taxpayers over almost 6 billion naira to conduct these elections. And I believe with the introduction of technology in terms of even when you're doing manual voting, we have introduced in the Electoral Act the use of technology where accreditation through the use of the smart card or any other technological device for accreditation and also for collation of results. We have stated that accreditation results and polling results should be transmitted instantaneously through secured electronic means to data centers, two data centers, one to the collation center of that constituency where the election is holding place, and second to the national data center of INEC, which is situated at the national headquarters. So I think in effect this the instantaneous transmission of results, both in terms of collation results and also the election results, would forestall a lot of the electoral issues like electoral violence that we have seen in the past. You will agree with me that most of the violence occurs at the point of collation after the election had been conducted. So once that result is instantaneously relayed, I think it will curb or minimize the incidence of electoral violence.
Okay. Now, back to you, Akinrebi. You were part of INEC, and I'm sure you do know the workings within the system there. Now, this instant relay of results by digital transmission that, of course, has been approved in this process, do you see any problems arising there where the results are immediately after coalition is done at ward, local government and state levels?
There shouldn't be any problem about that. And I also need to say that it's not a new process at all. Mm-hmm. The last commission introduced it, and it was done in quite a number of elections ahead of the 2015 general elections. If I could still recollect, I think the transmission of election results digitally was done in Ekiti governorship election as well as Osun, and it did work very well in those two governorship elections ahead of 2015. And 2015 we also did the same, from the ward to the local government collation center, from local government collation center to the state, and from the state to the national level.
And this is strictly within the purview of INEC?
Yes, within INEC. But it's had a much more expanded practice. Yes, when we did it in 2015 during the general elections. It was done across the country.
If you look at the last elections in the US, of course, the Obama administration are still crying at the moment about how they suspected Russia to have hacked the system in favor of Donald Trump. Have we put all of those factors into consideration so that when we do use it, we do not experience things like this? Because, as I say, the white man who created the pencil also created the eraser.
Interesting. Well, the allegation about the influence of Russia on the election in the US, there's a panel still investigating it. And I think we may need to wait for the outcome of that panel before any conclusions could be drawn.
But it is possible.
One. Well, I'm taking you from the question you posed. That's one. Two is that the nature of the conduct of elections in America is quite different. Each county conducted the election. It's not like there's a central body like INEC that conducts elections as we do here. So in terms of the influence, as you are hinting, or the perversion of the results centrally, US is a different thing. But even within Nigeria, I do not see a situation at any point in time where you will have a possibility of such kind of influence. And what do I mean? First of all, we have a system in place that ensures that announcement of results starts from the polling unit. And from each polling unit, once an announcement is made, copies of election results from EC8A are distributed to all the political party agents at the years, so that you already have copies of the results. Even election observers also have copies, such that the issue of if anybody wants to pervert along the line, it's quite impossible these days to have a result that will be considerably different from the outcome at the polling unit.
All right, so
and I also need to say this. You have also in place experienced election officials in INEC, people you can, to a large extent, vouch for their professionalism and who are committed to delivering results as they emerge. And if you don't have an in-house betrayal of any kind, you can be sure, and we have not had that, I need to say, even up to date with the new commission.
That's good to know.
Let me bring in such a problem.
Let me bring in Abubakar Kyari, Senator Kyari here. So on the issue of hacking, I wonder how much thought went into this particular challenge, like you have in the case of the US, and specifically even Florida. We remember, some years back when, of course, during George Bush and Al Gore elections, where at the end of the day they still had to resort to manual counting, and there was still a big question mark on that. Was this an issue that you needed to consider in coming up with this e-voting?
Yeah, certainly. That's why it's clearly spelled out that it should be done through secured electronic means. Secured, that is the key word. But I want to say here that technology is fast advancing. You may say that those that create the technology to secure a database are the ones also hacking the database. But that is not to say that we should shy away from technology. I mean, case in point, I mean, right now, look at the database of banks, for instance. We all have accounts that are electronically transmitted or saved in databases. And if we are to say we want to shy away from technology simply because of its inconveniences or its lapses, I think that is to say that we should, you know, let our guards down. But I think INEC has the duty and the power to make sure that the databases and the transmission is top-notch and is very secure.
Okay.
Right. Senator Abubakar Kyari, APC Senator representing Borno North and former Chairman House Committee on INEC, we thank you very much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us on this. And also in the studio here, Akin Orabi, former INEC Commissioner in Lagos, so thank you very much indeed for coming to share your thoughts as well.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Obviously, INEC has its job cut out for it. Like I guess said, skeptical political class and, well, an unbelieving electorate. Well, let's hope this, you know, cross that hurdle.